I'm talking like down to the underwear. Nothing fits. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another baby update. This is week 17, and also this week we are going to introduce the little chats I'm going to have about the different things we deal with as moms. So that will be in just a few minutes after I talk about what's going on in week 17. By the way, we have a visitor. Just ignore her. She does her own thing. She runs the house. So for week 17, I'm reading off the Bump app. The baby is 5.12 inches and 5.90 ounces. And it says baby Ruth is as big as a pomegranate. So for week 17, that's pretty big. It says baby's rubbery cartilage is now turning into bone, and baby's growing some meat on those bones, putting on some fat. Baby's growing a stronger, thicker umbilical cord too. And then it just goes on to say the inches and ounces again as the baby beefs up. So that's really exciting because over the last couple weeks I thought I was feeling flutters, but then I thought maybe it was gas. So it's good to know that the baby's getting strong bones now, because maybe I'll be able to start feeling those kicks a little bit more. If you're new to these, you guys know I'm a week ahead on most of these. I'm a week and a half ahead at this point, but I am around 18 and a half weeks pregnant, and I always film the update for the previous week to talk about. So now I've jumped over to the Pregnancy Plus app where we can look at the baby simulation. I do this in all of my updates. I think it's really cute. They also let you choose the race of the baby so that by the end of it, your baby will look the most or as much like you as it possibly can for a simulation. So I think that that's kind of cool. And here is the baby, and you can even hear, let me turn the volume up, the heart beating. Quickly, we're going to jump into symptoms, and then we're going to talk about the topic, which I'm really excited about because it's one that I get asked about all the time. For week 17, the symptoms have been pretty mild. Fatigue and the occasional gagging for no reason. Still dealing with that. The fatigue is probably the worst of them all yet, but I'm not really upset. I just get to take a nap or lay down. It's better than feeling sick and nauseated. Like I said, I do occasionally gag for no reason at all, but it's not like the kind of gagging. It's just kind of like, this is gross, and then it just stops, and it's not brought on with nausea, so that's always good because I don't feel sick when it's happening. I usually can just eat something and it'll stop it right away. Aside from that and just being tired, I think the weird or crazy symptoms are all gone. The dysgeusia is all but gone. If I eat something really sugary, I have to go brush my teeth, or the dysgeusia, sorry. But other than that, I am probably only brushing my teeth one extra time a day. So I wake up in the morning, brush my teeth like a normal person, and then maybe we'll have to brush my teeth once in the middle of the day, and then of course at night. So that is like a far cry from where we were like 6-7 weeks ago, where I was brushing my teeth 5 times a day. If anyone has ever had dysgeusia or anything like that, it's gross. Anytime you eat something, your mouth is just nasty. So glad to say that I'm pretty sure we are literally about to be done with that. The only other symptom I think that I'm still dealing with, and I will probably just end up dealing with this the rest of the pregnancy, and I've said it every week, is the acne. I don't know if you can tell it in the camera, but I'm broken out right here, a little bit over here, and then some right here. Don't really know what else to do about that. So there's that. I'm not really using any new products. I'm still taking the same prenatal. I'll link it below. I'm also putting bio oil on my stomach 2 times a day, and I'll link that below. A lot of you asked me to in the last video. I know you can get it off of Amazon, and when I was pregnant with Bash, I used it, and I was getting it from like Walgreens or CVS. So you can get it there too, but I'll link it just in case you want to order it. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but I do think it works. I did not get really any stretch marks on my stomach at all, especially not the ones that don't go away and you're kind of just stuck with forever. None of that. So I'm happy, and I believe in that. And then I think that's pretty much it on products. I'm just always drinking water all day long. I'm still hungry throughout the day, but I can go hours in between meals. It's a lot more manageable than it was at the beginning, and I really don't have that much gas anymore, like with the burping and the backside burps like I was mentioning at the beginning of these updates. Like all of that is gone. The fatigue is really just what's not letting up, but I'd rather be tired than just sick. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for week 17. If you're still dealing with like some symptoms or gross things that you're going through in your pregnancy, let me know down below what they are, especially if you're like 2nd trimester already and think you should be done with them. A couple other things have happened though, aside from symptoms, that I didn't really experience in my first pregnancy. That is, I can no longer wear my rings, and it is it was devastating when I realized it. I cried a little bit. I know that's not a big deal. I'm wearing like a play ring right now, like it's like a cheap one from Francesca's, just to have something on. A lot of you guys told me to get the, is it Quelo? The silicone bands. I've never tried one of those, so I might look into that. But I can't admit, I don't really love having a toddler on my hip and a huge pregnant belly and no rings on my fingers. I'm not trying to put down anybody in that situation. It's just not what I like for me. I'm proud to wear my rings, and it kind of sucks that I can't. So there's that. And the last thing that does not fit anymore is pretty much all of my clothes. I'm talking like down to the underwear. Nothing fits. I thought I was just gonna do what I did with Sebastian and just wear my normal clothes until like the 3rd trimester and then wear dresses the rest of the time. That's out because I can't fit anything. My underwear does not even fit anymore. I have to order all new underwear. I have to order obviously new bras because my boobs are getting bigger, but that's normal. New jeans, everything. I'm just all around bigger this time. I'm a little over 15 pounds away from where I weighed when I gave birth to Bash, and I am not even close to giving birth at this point. So I know I'm gonna go over 40 pounds. Luckily for me, the breastfeeding, I lose the weight fast, but I will probably be over 200 pounds when this is over. What am I gonna do? I cried about it for a little bit, and then I was just like, whatever, if it means my baby's healthy, I'll just be big. There's that. But now I need to buy maternity clothes, which I never really wanted to do. But if you are interested in maybe like a maternity lookbook or something for fall, let me know, because I can add that video to my schedule, since I'm going to have to buy some new maternity clothes for fall and winter, especially for the winter time since she's not due till February. All right, so now is the time that we discuss the mommy topic. If you don't know what I'm talking about and this is the first time you're watching my updates, in my last update I said because the symptoms are getting few and far between as far as like things changing week to week, I wanted to make these updates more than just me giving a few stats about how big the baby is and then being done. So this week I decided, and I got questions on this too, we're going to talk about how to not lose yourself as a stay-at-home mom and the things that I do that make me feel like me and not losing myself in my family and my husband and my dog and my house. So my first tip in how to not lose yourself as a stay-at-home mom is to, number one, stop comparing yourself to other moms and their homes out there. You just can't. Social media has completely warped our minds into how we view other people, including our own friends. But honestly, you guys, social media is just an illusion, and it's only their best moments. Even the moments where people are like, I'm just gonna get real and show you the ugly side of motherhood, all of that is still curated. Seriously. So just because you see another mom and her house always looks clean, or her kids are always dressed to the nines, and she just looks so perfect, what you don't know is what's going on behind closed doors. And for all you know, she's buying all those nice things for her house, but she's in major debt. Or maybe her relationship is hanging on by a thread, and you think, wow, she has it all together, but she's miserable. So when you're comparing your life to what you think her life is, she's probably thinking, wow, maybe if I had just taken it a little bit easier, my life would be happier like those people who look at me. Also, another thing I want to say really quickly on this comparison topic is a word that I hear floating around YouTube so much is relatable. I get comments from people or hear people talking and say like, I can't watch so-and-so anymore, she's no longer relatable. But I can't stand when I hear that. Initially, when you first hear like somebody's not relatable anymore, you think, oh wow, what did they do to change? But what I hear when I hear someone say like, oh, I can't watch them anymore, they're not relatable, is I used to watch so-and-so when they only had this much, and now they have this much and I don't have that, so I can't relate. To me, you're comparing yourself to that person. Just watch them for who they are now in this moment. Just because someone has more than you or does more than you or doesn't have to do something that you have to do anymore doesn't mean that they're not relatable. It just means that everyone's life is different. It's one thing if their attitude sucks now and they're not a nice person now, and it's obvious when you look at them that they've changed in that aspect. But just because you may have watched someone when they lived in the little house and now they live in the big house, or just because you watch someone's content because they only did this and now they did this, it doesn't mean that they're not relatable to you. Find something that you can relate to them on, like being a woman, and then just enjoy them for who they are right then. Now, like I said, if they're being evil, if they're not a nice person anymore, then yeah, stop watching. But really look within when you say somebody's not relatable anymore and think, why do I feel that way? Because it's probably more about you than it is about them. My next tip on how to not lose yourself while being a stay-at-home mom is to get ready in the morning. And I'm not talking about get full glam, lashes, all of that. I'm not talking about that. But do something more than just pajamas. This one is a huge one for me. I know that if I get out of bed and I don't get dressed, I don't do anything but brush my teeth, I probably won't even do the bare minimum around the house. That means I probably won't be doing laundry. That means I probably won't even empty the dishwasher because I just look and feel unproductive. So my advice is to get up, brush your teeth, brush your hair, maybe put it up in a bun or pull it back in a ponytail, or just brush it till it looks nice. Put on a little bit of natural looking makeup, so not like a full glam, but just something, and put some studs in your ears, like so. Honestly, once you feel like you look better, your day will get better. Also, maybe get rid of your sweatpants. Switch them out for joggers instead, something that looks presentable, or some really nice athleisure. Maybe create a drawer where these are the clothes that I only wear when I'm at home, and it's not dressy clothes, but it's just something pulled together, if that makes sense. I have had plenty of situations in the past where I've needed to run somewhere with Bash and I look like a slob and I didn't plan on getting out of my car and ended up having to, and I was embarrassed at how I looked. After that, I purposely made a conscious effort to, one, no longer wear sweatpants, but then also to really put effort into what I look like when I leave my house. So I may just have on leggings and a cute top like a Nike set, but I always think when I leave my house, if I get into a fender bender or if I get a flat tire and I have to get out of my car, will I be embarrassed at how I look? And even if you aren't leaving your house, there's just something to be said about someone who really takes pride in what they look like. And being a stay-at-home mom is a job, and you wouldn't go to your 9-to-5 job dressing like that. So treat being a stay-at-home mom like a job and maybe just do a little bit more. Let me know down below if you do it and how you feel, even if it's just the smallest thing, how much more productive you will be in the day if you just get ready in the morning. My third tip in how to not lose yourself as a stay-at-home mom is to change your mindset when it comes to doing your stay-at-home mom tasks. I've heard so many stay-at-home moms say that they feel obligated to do certain things because their husbands are out working all day and we're just home all day as moms. And yes, your husband is out working all day, but that doesn't mean that you're not working just because you stay home. As stay-at-home moms, we should not be doing our tasks around the house to keep our husband happy, because truthfully, that will only breed resentment. We need to be doing it because it makes us happy and it makes us feel accomplished. If you're doing any of your stay-at-home mom tasks just to make your husband happy, that means you're basically going to allow him to make you feel guilty if you don't get stuff done around the house. And I have been guilty of this, especially at the beginning when Brandon would come home and stuff wouldn't be done when we lived in our apartment. I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't finish this. And he's like, I don't care. You took care of the baby. And honestly, as stay-at-home moms, our #1 job is to make sure we teach our kids, feed our kids, and keep them alive during the day. Everything else comes secondary to that. So if stuff doesn't get done around the house, it should be because you feel bad because you didn't get your list done for you, and all you have to do is just make that a priority the next day. But if your husband is making you feel bad, then that means you're not really working for you. You're not really doing this stay-at-home mom job for you. You're doing it because your husband wants you to, and you shouldn't live like that. If things don't get done, at least in our house, if the dishwasher doesn't get emptied and Brandon gets home from work, he's the first person to jump in and empty the dishwasher. And I really feel like that's how it should be, because at the end of the day, yeah, he may work outside of the home, but he lives here too. He's eating off those dirty dishes, and sometimes he's gonna have to get in there and help clean something. It's just how it is. And the moment we start doing these stay-at-home mom tasks because it makes us feel like a good stay-at-home mom, not because our husbands told us that this is what makes us a good stay-at-home mom, I really think that becoming a stay-at-home mom becomes more enjoyable. My fourth tip on how to not lose yourself, and this is one that I am truly guilty of if I don't make a conscious effort, and that is you should probably leave your house at least once a day. And before I even get into my little spiel on that. Staying at home and being a stay-at-home mom can be one of the most isolating jobs that you can ever have. And even some of you who don't have kids but you stay home like a stay-at-home wife, isolating. And until you have a child or 2 or 3 or more, no one understands what it's like to be home all day and only hearing a baby cry or a baby voice or a child talk to you and no adults except maybe on the phone. So, like I said, leave your house. Even if you aren't going to be around adults, just change your scenery. Take a walk around your neighborhood. Go to the nearest park with your kids. You may meet some mom friends while you're there. Go to Target. Walk around the mall. You don't have to shop, just leave your house. Say hi to somebody as you walk by, even if you don't know them. You never know what kind of friendship can happen. If you have another stay-at-home mom friend, call her up and say, hey, let's go to the park with the kids, or let's go do this together with the kids. Just leave your house. Go run through a drive-thru. Give yourself some more purpose in life besides just being inside of your home with your babies. Like I said, I can be very guilty of this. I like, whether it's this house, whether it's my old apartment, I like to be at home in my bed or downstairs with my baby or in the playroom, just in my home surrounded by my things. And it's so easy for me to not leave the house if I'm not careful. And I did this a lot when Bash was really little. But now that he's older and like needs more than just being in this house, I try to make a bigger effort to get him out. And it's also good for your own mental stability. Separate yourself from your tasks and just feeling like, I work here, I live here, I'm always here, I do nothing here, I do everything here. And go have those feelings somewhere else, if that makes sense. Just leave. And my last tip kind of goes with the last one but kind of doesn't. It is carve out some me time. So in our house, this is a non-negotiable for us. When Brandon gets home in the afternoons, I usually disappear for an hour or 2 and he will handle like Bash's evening routine and he puts him to bed at night. I'm fully aware that things will probably change once we have our daughter, but until then, if you're like me and only have one child and your husband comes home, just go do you. Whether that means you go take a bubble bath, you go to Target like I said, and you need to leave your house, do it. Just go do something that is just you. I would love to say, and if you can pull this off, awesome. Try to have your me time that is not at the same time as your child napping, but sometimes you just can't do that. So for those of you who like to have your me time while your baby's napping, but you tend to get all of your chores or your tasks done while they're sleeping, maybe if it's a bigger task like folding your laundry or emptying the dishwasher or sweeping or cleaning your kitchen, do it the hour before they go down for nap and let them get in there and help you, or have them sit down with a book while you clean. And that way you can get some of your major house cleaning tasks done while they're awake. And then when you put them down, you have a little bit of downtime to do whatever it is that you want to do, whether that's take a nap too, watch a TV show, do a craft, do some kind of hobby, sit and look out the window, pick your nose, shower, whatever it is. Just you have the time to do it, because instead of waiting until they went to sleep to do stuff around the house, you did it while they were awake, and you can let them get involved and it can be fun. And maybe if having me time during the week is just not an option, you can negotiate an hour or 2 or 3 of like a Saturday or a Sunday to have to yourself. Your husband had those babies with you. Just because he works during the week doesn't mean that he can't care for them by himself either. You probably should be able to trust your husband to watch your children. So maybe suggest that on a Saturday or a Sunday, you go and get your hair done or your nails done, or like I said earlier, walk aimlessly through Target, or go pick you and your husband up some coffee, or do something for you and you can go do it by yourself with no kids in tow. So that was my last tip, and I'm saying all of this with love because I know how it feels to be a stay-at-home mom, and it can wear on you just like having a 9-to-5 job in an office can wear on you. So don't forget to make yourself a priority when it comes to taking care of your kids and your family and your house. That is all I'm saying. So I think next week our update topic, because this was a question I got a lot too, is how to keep things spicy, or just like the intimacy and the romance in your marriage when you have kids. I get that question a lot too, and I have a couple tips on how I do it, and I think it may help a few of you as well. If you're interested in that, leave some topics below that you want to hear, because I am going to be pregnant for a lot more weeks, so we have a lot more we can talk about. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn your notification bell on, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.